If there's one thing that Pokemon fans are wondering about going into 2023, it's when are we going to see the new information about the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC? As the games have come out for a while now, and a lot of people have already beaten them, and we're kind of wondering about what's going to happen next in terms of having new content for the games, as going off of what we've seen with like Pokemon Sword and Shield, it's pretty likely to expect that there's probably going to be some type of DLC content which is going to be coming to Generation 9 as well. Now, there's already a number of things that are indicating as to why DLC could be coming for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. First of all, we've got like insiders who've been correct about the games for months before stuff has come out in terms of knowing information, like Riddler, who's already told us that there is going to be DLC, and he's even kind of teased about it already. So it's pretty likely because considering he's known pretty much everything about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and all of the riddles and things that he said about Pokemon and new forms and stuff like that has ended up being true, I definitely trust him with how he's talking about the DLC. But just even looking into the game itself, it definitely seems like there are a couple of things that they're kind of hinting at in terms of more potential content which is going to be coming. One of the biggest examples that a lot of people like to use is inside of the Pokemon Scarlet book or the Pokemon Violet book. You can see here at the very end, once you've beaten the game and everything, you have like these sketches here of imagined Pokemon, which look to be like a past form inside of Pokemon Scarlet's book for like a Suicune, and then like a futuristic paradox form for Virizion, which you can find in the Pokemon Violet book. So it definitely seems like there is going to be more content which is going to be coming. Also, these are the only Pokemon games in terms of like a new generation ever since Gen 3, which doesn't have a third legendary, as we pretty much had a third legendary for the longest time now. So it seems like that there's going to be a third legendary, which is going to be coming also. And we've already kind of seen that be hinted as well with like a disc like Pokemon. So it definitely seems like there is content that is going to be on the way. Now, all of this stuff for the past couple of months has pretty much just been speculation about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC, but it seems like that Game Freak may have accidentally just screwed up and given us some real information about DLC right from official sources themselves, and that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So, of course, with a brand new generation of Pokemon, there's also going to be a new generation of the competitive scene with people using new abilities and teams and Pokemon and all of that. And so the VGC community has been thriving right now with the introduction of Scarlet and Violet and using new strategies and moves and all of that. And in doing that, there's also been a lot of tournaments that have already happened using Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And a really cool discovery was made just recently at one of the tournaments that happened during the San Diego Regional Championships. And sometimes the Pokemon Company does even stream these types of things. So we can even see this like on the official Pokemon channel, usually on like Twitch and stuff. They'll stream these regional events that are happening in different places. And it seems like that somebody found out that while they were showing like the previews for the different Pokemon that people were using on their teams and stuff, they of course have like an overlay that shows you kind of the Pokemon that are on each person's team. People have discovered that they actually have artwork here of Pokemon that are not even in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So I'll show you guys the image right here where we can see some Pokemon like Dracovish and Kabuto, and we can see Garbodor here, like Vanillux and Pokemon like that as well. So it's kind of interesting because the way that these sprites are designed here are not like how these Pokemon were inside of Pokemon Sword and Shield, as those sprites were obviously pixelated, and these are using like the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet kind of like 3D like PNG type of format. So it seems like that these are going to be how they would look if they appeared inside of Gen 9. And obviously these Pokemon aren't in Gen 9, so now a lot of people are starting to wonder what could this mean, because obviously this is an actual official tournament that is happening for these games, and if these people already have access to these sprites, could this mean that these are going to be Pokemon that are going to appear inside of the DLC? I mean, that's possible. Or maybe this means that they've already made these types of sprites for every single Pokemon that already exists. So that way, whenever they are added into future games or DLC, they basically future-proof them and people can have access to these sprites whenever they need to. It could be either or, but we do see some other Pokemon like that. So it is kind of interesting to see that these are sprites that we've seen for Pokemon that are not even in the game. And that's kind of also potentially a hint as to DLC content which could be coming and these species which could be added. Now, the biggest leak that happened from all of this is actually from a Pokemon team creator tool, which is used a lot in terms of like competitive tournaments and BGC and all of that. And I think it's called the RK9 Team Creator, which is a tool that a lot of competitive Pokemon players like to use in order to showcase kind of what Pokemon they're using on their teams, the moves that it has, the held item, the nature, and all of that. It's a good way to kind of just like go through your teams and set up everything. So I think that they're required to use them, and this is kind of in part with the official Pokemon Company and all of that. that. And people have discovered that if you actually take a look really carefully in their move selections, when it gives you access to all of the different moves that you can teach to your Pokemon, it seems like they accidentally have here two moves which are unconfirmed so far inside of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So if we take a look really carefully, we can see one move that pops up here, which is called Hydro Steam, and another move which is called Psyblade. So these are moves that do not exist at the moment inside of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but they appear inside of this Pokemon Team Creator tool, which is really funny because it seems like that Game Freak basically forgot to scrub this part in terms of like this Team Creator tool. So we have access to these moves here, which are not even officially announced yet, but it seems like Game Freak actually did a good job of removing this type of stuff from the ROM inside of the game itself, but they accidentally left this inside of this Team Creator tool. So using this, we can kind of infer now that most likely these are going to be moves that are going to be added with DLC Pokemon inside of future updates that are going to be added into Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And a lot of people have already begun to speculate that the move Hydro Steam is most likely going to be the exclusive move, probably for the Pokemon, which is that Paradox Suicune, which we saw, and the move Psyblade is going to be for that Paradox Virizion. And honestly, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, Hydro Steam, it seems like it's probably kind of implying that it's going to be some really type of hot water, and then Psyblade kind of implying that maybe it's going to be some type of like blading attack, which is also going to be a physical psychic attack. And obviously, if it's going to be for Virizion, a lot of people are speculating that Virizion is already a grass type Pokemon. Maybe this means that the form that it's going to have with its Paradox form is going to be a grass and psychic Pokemon. And then for Suicune, that means that the typing for that Pokemon is going to be water and fire. And that would be really cool because it's going to be the second ever water and fire type Pokemon after Volcanion. Now we even have descriptions about these moves where it says here that for Hydro Steam, it's going to have boosted damage if you're using the move in sunlight, and even though this move is a water type, it's not going to be reduced damage inside of the sun, so you're basically just going to be getting even more damage if you use this move with Sunny Day up. And then for Psyblade, it says here that the move does boosted damage if the target is on electric terrain. So that's a little bit interesting because it says here electric terrain instead of psychic terrain. I would have thought that it would have been psychic terrain because the move is called Psyblade, but I guess if you're using this move with electric terrain, you're going to do even more damage. But yeah, that is pretty much all the information that we have right now about the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC. This is a little bit exciting because it is actually coming from some official information and not just like speculation or a potential insider talking about it. And I definitely don't think that they're just going to have an update one day, which is just going to add these two moves and nothing else. So it definitely kind of implies that there is probably going to be some more content, which is going to be heading to the game very soon. And hopefully we do get that announcement for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC in the coming weeks. If you guys enjoyed this video, then definitely be sure to click that like button and also comment down below and let me know what you guys think about this. How are you guys feeling now about the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC? Are you guys excited for these brand new Pokemon? What do you guys think about the typings for these moves? Do you think that the typings for the Pokemon could be something else? Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know. If you're new to this channel, then please be sure to subscribe. I'm definitely going to have some more Pokemon content in the future, so definitely be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Click on that bell to become a part of the notification squad. Go follow me on Twitter at @Aero so you can be featured in videos, and also join my Discord server as well. We've got a bunch of people in there who are always talking about Pokemon and Smash Bros. And Nintendo, so definitely be sure to join that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching.